some of the rabbit holes that we went down. Right, I'm going to list a bunch of them. Right, one of them, right off the bat, being the medical medium. I bought his books, spent probably $500. I was like, I just charged my credit card. I'm like, fuck it, I gotta get them all. It was fucking nonsense, right? And I fell for it though. It was all bullshit. But it was, the way it's brilliant because it's like, well, I'm tapping into this spiritual, being or realm of beings that are giving me this information. And to a point, I believe in that stuff. I believe that you can get the downloads, you can tap into consciousness and tap into the plane of information that anybody can get. Totally. But unfortunately, his stuff doesn't make any sense because, well, I took his stuff. I tried it all. I tried the celery juice. My histamine skyrocketed. The reactions that I had, relentless, the relentless anxiety and physical symptoms that came because I was on two safe foods, right? I had the OCD looping thoughts, anxiety, all kinds of health issues, right? The IBS, the pains, the pelvic floor pains, dizziness, a shitload, right? You name it, and a lot of them that didn't even have names. I couldn't explain them. I could explain them, but I couldn't. I couldn't find a label for it. And usually, when you describe this kind of stuff, people look at you like, right? And not many people were talking about it at the time either, especially during my first perfect storm, where I had 25 symptoms, and then a couple years later, this was when I had my big nervous breakdown, 75 symptoms plus. And this is where a lot of you guys, right, that's what you guys are dealing with, right? So just think about all the groups and talk about it in the comments. What groups did you get sucked in? What protocols did you get sucked in? Right? And I'll try to list some of them because I'm probably gonna forget a bunch. But I did the, trying to heal the gut, which it makes no sense. You're wasting time. You're wasting energy. Good luck with that. Really, everybody's doing, generally with all these Facebook groups, these toxic Facebook groups, they do everything the opposite way. They try to zoom in on the symptom and try to get rid of that. Well, that doesn't look right. Look, well, I got the tests and my naturopath sent me this pie graph of testing. And he checked my biome and it's just right. And there's pathogens. I got candida. I got to do a candida protocol, kill protocol. And I got these parasites and these weird worms. He told me about these parasites. And like, I swear, I thought I saw worms in my poop. Right. And he said, yeah, no, you got a lot of parasites. And, right. I fell for that shit. And then I went to, of course, how many groups are there on Facebook? A shit ton. A lot. And they're all toxic. Most of them, it's like, heal the gut. You have leaky gut, which, by the way, does not exist. That's just made up. Like, really? No, there's these holes, and then these pathogens get into the holes because their holes are bigger. So they go through and they cross a blood-brain barrier, and then they cause havoc in the right. And you have to detox first, but then you got right, and it gets confusing, and you got to do all these different steps that are dangerous. You got to take these detox protocols, right? And you got this biofilm. No, but you got to break the biofilm, right? Because if you don't. If you don't, you have to break the biofilm and you'll get a Herx reaction, of course. And when that happens, keep going. That's normal, right? You're going to have this reaction because the body's detoxing. So things will come up and you will get sick. That's a good sign. We're getting the stuff out. We're getting it out, right? And then so you might want to support your liver, right? With a bit of a cleanse, a little bit of cilantro. We got this special, right? What did they call it? Chelating. I used to call it chelating because I can't, right? I'm not good at pronouncing shit, right? You chelate and you pull out the metals, right? Which it can be really dangerous, right? So you need to support your liver by doing, right? You need to do a coffee enema And there's a certain types of coffee that have to be really, it comes from Colombia. It's got to be organic and dark roasted coffee, right? And then you have to put it in because what it does, the liver dumps it because it's clogged up. It's not doing its job, right? It's up to here, right? And that's why you pathogens enter and you get sludgy and things build up and then you get ill, you get sick, right? It sounds really convincing. It sounds like, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because the environment, right? The environment where you have an infection, you have viruses, right? You have pathogens, right? That invade the body. The body's not able to get them out. So we need to support. So you need to, right? So you need to, yeah, we got to heal the gut. We got to patch up those holes, right? Patch them up, right? And then eventually, right, we're able to support it in the right way. And then these pathogens go away because we're detoxing, right? Exactly. But you got to stay on the path. You got to buy these hardcore supplements that are hard to get. But I have the hookup. I have a supplier. Actually, we make our own, right? And there's outsourced from places from Thailand. They are organic, right from Thailand, Cambodia, right? You can't get this stuff anywhere else, right? A bottle of 50 pills is $2,000, right? Because it's a lot of freight that we need to, right? The planes, and then you got to, right? The pilots, you got to pay the pilots. So, right? It's so much nonsense, but it's a good sell, right? And then they show you pictures, right? They show you the pie graphs. Look at the graph. See this? This is a person with a normal biome, and this is you. You have like no bacteria, right? You have dysbiosis, right? Have you taken antibiotics in your life at one point? I can't remember. I think maybe that's all it takes, right? That's enough. Yeah, but I don't think I did. All right, you must have. Did you? Did you? Maybe. Let's see your eyes. Oh yeah, you got. Okay, we can see you have a lot of pathogens. You are full of toxins. Oh yeah, I think I did have to. Yeah, I did take antibiotics when I was young. That's enough. That's all it takes, really, right? So look at the graph though. This is right. This is the graph. It's telling you we did the test. We sent a hair sample or a sample of your blah blah blah, and the results came, and your biome, right? So that makes you believe shit. You go to Facebook, right? All these different protocols that are really dangerous, right? And then you get these hidden, secret places, deep dark secret places where people are doing crazy protocols that are just insane. And I did one of them. I won't call it the normal name. I'll call it, okay, it's pine tree oil, outsourced from somewhere. I think it was Georgia. A bottle of pine tree oil, very high quality, right? I'm upselling it a bit so I don't sound too crazy that I did this shit, right? A little bottle like this, it's very potent, very powerful stuff, packed in a bottle, right? It's hand squeezed. I don't know if it really is, right? Powerful. $100 for $100. That's not even for delivery. And some of the stories that I heard is where, in the 1800s, some of the slaves, they used to get sick a lot. So they had this home remedy that went back into their culture that they didn't share. They kept it a secret. And they used this secret stuff called pine oil. And it was this magic sauce. And it was powerful. And people were able to heal. And they had a list of all the things they were able to heal. And one of them was candida. Right? And then you got the candida protocol. So aside from this dangerous pine tree oil that you got to dilute onto sugar cubes, because the sugar is supposed to be the bait for the candida, and then that's like a Trojan. So then you hit it with right? You eat the sugar cube, and then it releases the pine tree oil, and it's supposed to kill the candida. And the whole thing was, we got to kill candida. We got to kill it. We need to kill it. It's not good. Why is it showing up? It's causing havoc in the body. We got to kill it. Right? I was going to make sure my mic works. Okay. I think it is. Right? And then, when later on, yourself when you're going through this journey, Candide is not there to get rid of. You leave it alone. You let it do its thing. It's there because it's a stress response that the body produces. It's doing a job, right? Leave it alone. Just like everything else, right? Stop trying to detox because that's dangerous. Stop trying to detox the metals with all these crazy protocols with cilantro and some of these expensive chelating liquids. I don't know what you call them, but you drink them. It's supposed to draw out the metals, and people get really sick on this shit, right? So don't bother trying to heal the gut. Like that's for anything in the body, right? If it's anxiety, mental alarms, anxiety, OCD, depression, right? People have something that herbs, a lot of herbs. Food is the medicine. No, really it is. Food is your medicine. Yeah, no. So if you eat more herbs, like it's a herbal, we have a herbal, right? You have to pick, a stalk of peppermint and then you got to grind it into an oil, right? And then you have to put a little bit of garlic because garlic is an antifungal. Antifungals are good for you. Coconut oil, anti-inflammatory, right? None of that shit worked. Actually, it stressed me out even more. It activated my nervous system even more, right? And then, like I said, these Facebook groups, they got you doing all these protocols, taking all these different supplements, high dose vitamin D3. It's got to be D3. It can't just be vitamin D. High dose. No, don't take 2,000. You have to take at least 30 to 60,000 units. It's like, whoa, right? And some of the people know this is what I did, and I'm free. I look at me, blah blah blah. Of course, it's the admin guy or the guy that owns that group on Facebook. He's living the life. He's not really sick, but he's selling all these supplements, making a ton of money, and he's got the protocol down that people are got to follow. People are getting sick following this bullshit, right? And then there's all these gurus out there that are giving bullshit advice. And then you hear a couple of the stories. Yeah, it worked for me. That's what I did. Yeah, I took some baking soda, right? I took baking soda and it's like it alkalized my system because I was my pH levels, so it's an alkaline diet. You have to alkaline, right? Really, because of the environment. The environment, right? We have toxins. That's why you have autoimmune issues. It attacks itself because of the toxins, right? All the things that we're eating. So like with a lot of these Facebook groups, people will say, well, it's environmental, right? It's mold, right? It's a motherfucker gene, right? It's our environment. And yet, within reason, the environment could fill up your allostatic loads because it's, here, I'm gonna get some, here's my, right? If throughout your life, and I got a list, I'm gonna do the whole spiel. Might as well do the spiel. Nobody heard, nobody heard. Right? Okay, so just imagine throughout your life, drop by drop, you start adding in things to your bucket, your stress bucket, your allostatic load, right? Throughout your life, not just the allostatic load, this thing leans in and starts bringing your survival state up. Normally, what's supposed to happen, right? We're supposed to be on standby, 0. You see a tiger or a liger or a bear, right? You go to 1,000, right? It's protecting you. You're getting ready to fight or flee. So let's say we fight it, we kill it. Good. We're safe now. So it goes back down to 0. That process, that situation takes maybe an hour. Your nervous system's back down to standby. Done. Right? Done. But in our case, we're always dealing with little ligers that are sleeping with us, hanging out with us, constantly life stress situations, right? Maybe you were with that narcissist for 4 years, right? Constantly, they were cheating on you, gaslighting you. You were angry, you were insecure, you're going crazy, right? And it just kept building that survival state. The allostatic loads are just getting full. It's not drip by drip. It's like buckets and buckets filling that allostatic loads. And when that happens, your system starts to buffer. It's like, it doesn't work as efficiently because what is it doing? It's trying to keep you alive. It's got other things as a priority, right? It doesn't care about that burrito that you're trying to digest because you're now in a survival state and now you're hardwired. This is your new zero. This is the hardwired survival program that's there now. 1,000. You're not here. And the things, you're staying there for years and years and years. Compared to the old version, it was just an hour. Here, you're in a chronic state of survival, right? And here are some of the reasons, right? So, suppressing your authentic self, right? Suppressing emotions. We didn't get a handbook. Maybe we did. Maybe they took that handbook away from us because they knew, they could control us and keep us sick. So, suppressing your authentic self, right? So you're not able to express anger. You can't cry. Didn't receive that love and attention, right? You're walking on eggshells. Becomes something that you're not. You adapt, right? It's an adaptive type of mechanism. Maybe you had trauma as a kid, right? And I'm not saying you had all these things, but most of these things I did have, right? Maybe you had some abuse. Maybe your parents were divorced. Maybe your mom was a narcissist, right? That's right there. That's enough. Just one of these things is enough, right? Toxic family life, school bullying, right? I had a little bit of that when I was in Germany, right? There's a little bit of racism going on there. They thought I was Turkish. So some of the local kids like to beat me up, right? Not a good time. So a family passing, a pet passing, right? Sometimes losing a pet is worse than losing a best friend, right? Drugs. I wasn't too much involved in the drugs, but I was more into the smoking and being an alcoholic. I was a binge drinker for 10 years solid, right? I had my drinks lined up 3 days ahead. If I didn't, I'd start to panic. I was Mr. Party Animal. There was a period in those 10 years where I think I didn't miss one day of drinking. That puts a shitload of stress on the body. So you have, mental alarms being stressed out. You're stressing out your mental side and you're stressing out your physical, right? So anything that stresses anything out adds up to the allostatic loads. And we're not regulating it. We're not releasing any of it. We're not feeling it. We're not letting that energy finish itself off. So it gets stored in the shadow. And not only that, it starts to feed the allostatic load and your survival state starts to climb up. Right? So add in toxic relationships. We already covered that. Narcissist. Medications. When you were a kid, how many times did you take that banana stuff because you had a viral infection, right? Me, probably 7. Antibiotics in my lifetime, probably 10. Flu shots, probably 10, right? Right, antibiotics, medications, you name them. When you had to go to surgery, right? How many times did you have surgery? Me, I think 3. That is heavy duty. When I had my diverticulitis surgery, that was 6 hours. That's really invasive to the system. What else? Right? You might have had COVID. You might have had the flu. You might have had Lyme. Right? Mold was around you. You might have had reactions to mold, infections, pneumonia, mold, and supplements. Supplements could be a little bit nasty. Probiotics can be really nasty. Certain diets that stress the body out, like the keto diet, right? That can be, if you're in a survival state, the keto diet can put stress on you. It could be pouring gasoline on the fire. So your mental diet, what's that all about? You watching the news? You getting sucked in to the propaganda? What else? The news? What? The religion? Right? Are you having issues with arguing about religion or politics? Or what else is there? I'm vegan, you're carnivore. Right? What else could we fight about online? Right? You got social media. We can fight about all kinds of. There's division. Right? And then you're hardwired. You start to get angry and miserable, and you look for fights. You look for fights at work. People are bullying you at work. They throw you under the bus constantly. They stab you in the back. Your boss is an asshole. Right? You're overworked. You're not getting paid the right amount. They play favorites. I dealt with that. Right? You come to a new job, and you're pretty much surviving because there's a hierarchy. Right? And the more you try to keep out of it, because It's like prison. It's like where I worked, it was like a prison, the way it was. There was a lot of politics. There was a hierarchy. I worked with mostly women, right? So it got a lot more complicated. And some of these women were in their 60s, right? You don't want to piss these women off, man, because they hold grudges. They remember shit. And and before that, they're very sweet and very nice to you, right? And they will throw shit in your face afterwards. Oh, so Helmut, do you work another job? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You open up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do this. Oh, that's so amazing. That's really good. And then a week later, they threw you under the bus, right? Very dangerous. And if you're in that survival state with these type of people surviving, and the thing is, you can try to, no, I don't like drama. I just focus on my work. And because I don't like drama. Well, no shit. Neither did I. But the more you're a person that tries not to be a target, the more you're a target, right? So work life, major stress, and the fear of symptoms. Symptoms pop up, right? There's your second half of the trauma right there. You're afraid of symptoms. They drive you mad, right? Derealization, depersonalization, that alone could drive you mental because you think you have some crazy disease when you don't. Brain fog, add that in there. Add the dizziness, right? And the eye pressure. And maybe you start to speak slower, right? And then you start to think slower. So you think, oh man, I think I'm going like crazy and I have this crazy illness, right? And then you Google and it all adds up, right? And you freak out, catastrophize. So that makes your system even more sloshy, right? Your storage is overloaded, right? You got too many, it's like your cell phone's got too many pictures of cats. Same thing with you. Your storage is overloaded now, so things start to slow down. Right? So add all those symptoms in there. You're convinced that reality is taken over. You go to Facebook, you go down these groups, you go, yeah, I have this sensation where like I feel like I'm a cloud walking in the. I don't feel like I'm real. Oh my God. So same here. So you identify with the other people and then you go, yep, I had that. This is, you got to follow this group. You follow the group. Yeah, this is the protocol. You got to, blah, 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 blah. Follow the medical medium. You got to do all these fix it biohacking. And it's funny. I saw a video where he's like, everybody's biohacking these days. That's what everybody's trying to take this to fix that. See, that's what they're all doing. But I was calling all these biohackers. I was telling them that they were wrong, blah, blah, blah. But my community, they get it. They get it. I'm like, he's one of the biggest biohackers around. Isn't that funny? The people that are biohacking, and some of them are in the mind-body space, and I'm sure you know who. There's a couple of them. Actually, there's a lot of them. Now that I think about it, there is a lot of them. They sell biohacks. Shit, how could I? Right? So it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You got the huge gurus. You got the, the medical medium. He's got how many millions of followers, 7 million of followers, and then you got the mind body people, right? They kind of found the way. They're getting close to the truth. They're getting close to the root, but they got halfway stuck, so they're still managing. They're still dysregulated. Some of the biggest ones are still dysregulated. Look at them. Look at them. Look at the people you're taking advice from. That sounded like a drum beat. Right? Look at the people you're taking advice from. I should have just did that. Look at the people that are taking advice from, right? Look at how they look like, right? You can tell when you've been through it, when you've been dysregulated, right? When you got that shaky voice, when you're constantly shaking, your face is half green, half fucking gray and pale white, right? And you lost 40 pounds. You're losing your hair. Your face is just like, right? You look like you're skinny or like a skeleton, and your soul is like buy my program and just in the comments say restore and then I'll say right. We know we can detect it usually, but there's a lot of people that don't, right? And that's sad. So please be careful. And I know I'm going to get a backlash on some of you. Please don't bash. I don't like it when you do that because you're vibrating low, right? You don't need to, whatever. You know what? I've been through it. I've seen it. And I'm authentically telling you the bullshit that's out there so that you don't fall for it. You don't waste your money, right? And then when it doesn't work, right, it's going to hit you harder because you're not going to trust any other. You're going to give up. That's another thing. You're going to give up. You're never going to try anything again because you're done going down the rabbit holes. I get it, man. I went down all the fucking rabbit holes. Probably for 15 years researching. Sometimes I researched 8 hours a day. Did all the things. None of them worked. I did the elemental diet. It's where you take a powdered drink and you just drink it, right? And it's just it's not even a mineral. It has all the ingredients, all the nutrients that you need, and you just bypass everything. And guess what? People felt even worse. People felt like they literally, right? It was dangerous. Some of the things. So yes, I get passionate about it, right? And I will bring it up. Like it or not, if you don't like it, take what resonates, and what doesn't resonate, right? If it doesn't resonate, don't take it. Leave it alone. And if you want to make a comment, go ahead. Do what you got to do. But it's true. And it's funny. These people that do the biohacking will say, the way through is not by biohacking. Right? You need to work with the nervous system. Without working with the nervous system, no biohack will work. None. So I'd like to make sure, I want to be clear. Medical medium said that. But what does he do? 99% of what he's selling is protocols, right? Biohacks, trying to get rid of symptoms, fixing, right? He's zooming in on the symptom. Well, there's a pathogen. Right? This is what it is. When you bring that allostatic load, when you empty this allostatic load, this is the real thing. This is it, right? And you bring this survival state down back to standby, right? And this is how you support it. When you start to process your emotions, right? Without forcing them, you start to allow the things to come up, whatever's on the plate. We're not forcing, because that can cause you more problems, right? You're not doing any crazy amount of breath work or shaking or forcing the anger or looking for anger or forcing yourself to cry, right? Don't do that. That causes more problems. Work the brain. It's all set up, man. It's all set up for you, right? We weren't supposed to know all this shit. We're not supposed to know all the science. We're not supposed to. It's there to serve us. It's there. All right, we're going to send you stuff on the plate, and I want you to allow it and process it. And feel the energy, right? And let it pass through. And then the allostatic loads empty. Alarms turn off one by one. The system gets back into unison, right? It's like, right? And when it's back into a flow out of dis-ease, right? When you're out of dis-ease, because when you're in this state, right? Because it's trying to keep you alive, which is amazing, and it's doing an amazing job, and it's good that it's doing this. It's not doing the body and the brain and the mind, they're not doing anything wrong. It's working perfectly. Your alarm system is working brilliant. There's no injury, right? There's no misfiring, confusion. There's no impairment. It's doing its job. Our only job, is to get the fuck out of the way and support it by reprogramming it. You're a reprogrammer now, right? And we do that with the allowing method, right? You're reprogramming, you're updating the software, the program. When you do that, that's your only job. So yeah, you have a job. Okay, yeah. You have a job. That's it. And then when you get out of the way and we stop micromanaging all the parts of the brain, the biome, right? The second brain, right? Which is not, it's not a second brain. It's just, this is the biome. This is your gut. That's it. This is your brain. Done. Right? When you stop micromanaging, right? Your blood-brain barrier, your microbiome, your leaky gut, right? The detoxing, the metals, right? When you get out of the way, your only job is to update the software, and it's hard work, right? There's no relief right away. It's hard work. When you do that, all the systems in the body heals itself. It knows how to. It's designed to. We will never understand how he does it. We were not supposed to. That's not something we were ever supposed to know. All we're supposed to do is update the software, and the biome will get back on balance. It'll get back online. It will figure out what bacteria you need to sustain the type of life you want. We are not going to we'll never understand that. It knows. Your liver will work efficiently again. Right? All the pains, all the sensations, right? The anxiety, right? The neural pathways, the brain will create its own neural pathways. You don't have to worry about that. Right? Why are you micromanaging the neural pathways? I hope I created a neural pathway. I hope it's thick enough, and I hope the old one dissolves. Because I need to, I think I created a, yeah, I think it's, no, I got to work on that. I got to make sure I redirect, create that neural pathway. I got to, right? We're getting in our way constantly in the way, right? It's a waste of time, a waste of fucking energy. We'll never know, right? Why don't micromanage your body? Well, I need more nutrients because I need more magnesium because, okay. Some things we need to have a little bit of support while we're going through this journey. But as long as you're having enough support so you don't drive yourself crazy, and I always say this in the beginning, takes a couple biohacks in the beginning, just so you drive yourself crazy so you can do the work. The work is the important thing because that's the programming, right? Every day we're programming. Every day we're bringing that survival state down, right? I'm going to start clapping. Every day, right? We're emptying this allostatic load. That's the work, right? Can you stop clapping? That's fucking triggering. Don't, right? So every day we're programming, and the system gets back online, and it knows what to do, right? We will never understand it. You know how exhausting it is to micromanage everything constantly? There's always something. There's a motherfucker gene, right? The motherfucker gene. What else is there? I want to make sure I haven't checked. There's a motherfucker gene, the mitochondria, the fucking vagus nerve bullshit, like all these things. If you need them in the beginning, go ahead, use what you got. Use some avoidance behaviors, do some stretches, right? Avoid some foods. I did, but do the work. And eventually, when you're updating the alarm system, right? You're updating the programming. It all takes care of itself. The liver knows what to do, right? Your acid levels know what to do, right? Your brain gets back online. The brain fog lifts by itself without you trying to rush it out and fix it. It'll leave when it's ready. Everything in your system, the things that you don't like will go when they're ready to go without you micromanaging or rushing them out the door. And that's when you start to recover, symptoms start to turn off, right? You start to absorb nutrients again, properly, efficiently, right? You don't have fatigue anymore. You know, you're able to walk without having your hand getting all fatigued just because you paint it. You're trying to paint your picnic table. 10 minutes, your hand is just sore and tired, right? You lift in the garbage bags and you're just got fatigue in the muscles because, right, they're not working efficiently, but they're not supposed to. If you're in a survival state, right, that shit's not important. You got gut issues, right? You got an undigested olive in your fucking shit. That's supposed to be like that. The brain's making a call. It's giving you the sensitivities because we're at capacity, right? We're not letting anything in, but we're letting everything out, right? It's making the call. And I trust the brain to make these calls, or the mind, or the body, right? If the body's doing these things and I have sensitivities, I trust it. I go, good call, right? It doesn't feel good. Well, now I have these sensitivities. Now I have these reactions. Now I can't drink alcohol, right? Now I can't eat any foods. Now I'm reacting to the sun, right? Now I'm reacting to electricity. Now I'm reacting to, you name it, fill in the blanks, right? It sets off a limiter. It's like, nope, we're not, you're having a meltdown here. We're overloaded. Something's got to give. You got to do the work. You got to update that alarm system. We got to empty those allostatic loads. Start feeling some of these emotions that I got sent on your plate. Sir, but I can't find the anger. Where's the anger? Okay, what else you got on the plate? You got symptoms? Yeah, I got a lot of symptoms. Okay, allow that. What else you got? I got fear. Start with that. Allow that. You don't look for it. It finds you, and you allow what comes to you on that plate. And you do the work every day. And eventually in time, and you'll also have setbacks, right? It's going to trick you. It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be all over the place, right? So it uses that as opportunities to give you doubt, so you second guess, right? You got to keep going. That's the way. That is the way to pure. First you recover, then thriving health by allowing what was designed to do its thing. Doesn't that make sense though? Do I sound ridiculous? Well, proof is in the pudding, right? It worked for me. I did it, and there's many people I interviewed, many people in the community, and most of the people that are watching know firsthand. Proof is in the pudding, right? It's there's evidence. People have done it, right? There's not only that, there's science to prove it. So when you get out of the way and you support it by reprogramming it, it does everything for you. It gets back online, right? And then all these environmental issues that you're worried about don't touch you. They're not even they're irrelevant, right? The EMFs, not irrelevant. The brain is not seeing danger. It's like, well, alarms are off. We're able to handle that, right? If you're in a house that has a little bit of mold, and I always say, within reason, right? Within reason with anything. Don't be in a home with a lot of mold. Don't be in a hoarding house with you got bacteria, right? You got dead cats. You got the smell of piss and urine everywhere. And you got all these bugs everywhere. Right? Within reason, you try to live, you try to eat somewhat healthy. I'm not saying that eating 18 chocolate bars a day is a good thing. Try to eat somewhat reasonable. You're not going to be perfect, but it's not the food. It's not the lime. It's not any of these things. But when we're in a survival state, right? Anything can break the camel's toe. Anything. You name it. It can be anything. It could be a bad argument. It could be the mold, a little bit of mold. Or you think it's the mold. That's enough. That's all. Anything. Any little. And it's usually the last thing. Here, I'm going to crank this up because I can't. Right? It's usually the last drop that gets associated with the thing that it is. Right? So let's say you were, the last drop that broke the camel's toe was the mold. People blame it on the mold. Blame it on the mold. Yeah. When it's not the mold, right? So they'll blame all this shit, all these drops, right? All these drops. Your ex-girlfriend was, she was a narcissist. You got 50 drops in there. You got all the antibiotics you took, and all the years of drinking, and your boss was an asshole. People are, right? All these things. And then the last drop was the mold. You blame the mold for everything. Does that make any sense? You blame the pathogens. You wouldn't get pathogens if this was empty. Your environment wouldn't affect you if this was empty. So that incident that made this overflow, people blame that. And then they get obsessed with that. They go down the rabbit holes. They try to fix. Right? They take the medical medium advice and starts buying all these fucking juicers and cleansing and protocols and buy buckets full of celery, and they're trying to fix things with these hacks that don't work. And of course you're gonna find, no, it did, it saved my life. The celery, no, I did, I detoxed, and there was holes in my gut. No, medical medium, he was right, it changed my life. Right. number one, I don't believe it. Number two, you're probably full of shit. Number three, maybe things in your life change where you're able to manage better. Usually people are managing, right? A lot of the mind body people, there's probably some of the biggest ones, they're still dysregulated and they're lying. But they're selling biohacks and it works. And people latch on. Here's another thing. People latch on because you get hope. I did it. And this could be for anything, not just the big, like the people like medical mediums, Joe Dispenza, but spiritual gurus, Abraham Hicks, or Neville Goddard. Who else? There's so many of them, right? Even in the mind-body space. I'm not going to name any, right? It doesn't matter. All these people, when they do it to first they put fear in you. So you think, oh shit, I got to open up a can of worms. They're saying I have to activate my vagus nerve so then I won't be able to heal because they said that. And that's triggering. And especially people that are, right, like us, like I was. Anything my brain latched onto, it's a magnet. Not like normal people. Normal people latch onto shit too, which is crazy, right? Normal people latch onto this stuff. And that's already hardcore. So just imagine when you're in a survival state, your brain likes to try things on. Go, oh, I think you have this. I think that's a problem. That makes sense, right? Because it's trying to look for the safety in the danger. So take a normal person and how they get sucked into it. Multiply that by 1,000. You are like a massive, when you're dysregulated, you are like a massive, and you're sensitized. You are a massive, another time, right? You're running a survival state. You are a massive magnet. And all they have to do go, by the way, if you're not activating the vagus nerve, you're not on the road to recovery. You're not there yet. That's all they have to say. And you go, you eat it up. And not only that, but there's a hope aspect to it. You finally have an answer because of all the years of researching, right? You've been sitting in that hell, second by second, feeling sick, being desperate that your husband's not gonna leave you because you're getting sicker. You're not able to be the mother of your kids or go to the park with them or to the beach because you're at home bedridden. You're depressed. You can't go to work, right? You got a splitting headache. You got nausea all the time. You got fibromyalgia, CFS. You got dizziness. You think that you might have MS or ALS or fill in the blanks, or you're going crazy. So you finally latch onto something that seems believable, right? So you latch onto it, and it's helping you manage, right? It's giving you some hope. And that happened to me a couple of times. That happened to me plenty of times. But then when I find the mind-body space, and I knew this was the way, I was doing DNRS, right? I'm sure you guys heard me say this before. There was a point where I had to jump ship. When I did jump ship, it was very triggering for me because I thought, mind-body, and it's true. But there are some things in the mind, a lot of things in the mind-body space that are not there yet, or they just don't get it, or it's bullshit, right? That goes for anything, anywhere you go, right? Obviously. And I was stuck, right? I had a lot of movement for 8 months. A lot of symptoms went away. And then all of a sudden my anxiety started to ramp up. PTSD, OCD looping thoughts skyrocketed, right? And everything was getting worse and worse and worse because I was becoming a ticking time bomb. I was suppressing, avoiding, stop, redirect, right? Do opposite, right? Bypass it, suppress it, resist it. What you resist persists, right? The alarm goes. That was happening to me. And then I had to ask myself, I think I had to jump ship. And thank God I had a couple of people on the sidelines that did the same thing that told me, yes, that did the thing, right? That did the same thing. But they were the evidence that I needed to cross that invisible bridge because I was scared. And I did it. And I'm thankful that they were willing to listen to me along my journey and go, okay, this happened to you? I'm noticing this happens when this happens. Am I right about that? Yep. I think you're catching on. Blah, blah, blah. Good. Right? The sideline support. Because if I didn't have the sideline support, I would have been lost at sea with no lighthouse. And I wouldn't have jumped ship. I'd probably still be sick. So I get it. Right? When people, they overcome, they see the bullshit, they talk about it because they've experienced it, because they're trying to help you. But when they hear it, it triggers them because it's like shattering. It shatters your reality. I had that a couple times where some of my favorite people that I followed, because they gave me hope, it's like, especially when you have OCD looping thoughts, the OCD is going to ramp that up. It's going to feel like you're in the depths of hell. And it's like a domino effect. Everything in your life, all your, you're finally calm, you're finally relaxed, and all of a sudden, all those demons come back up again because of this one person that you've latched onto. All of a sudden, it's bullshit, and you're forced to have your world crumble all around you. And I dealt with that for 8 months straight, every day, because I was also resisting. And I found that out after. Every day, even looking at my pillows, even looking at a steering wheel, right? It poisoned the well. I had no more hope, no more answers. I needed that, though. I needed to suffer in the relentless what if thoughts and go, well, you know what that means, right? What you thought was this way, actually it's not. And everything that you thought is out the window. We're back to square one. Actually, you're probably going to die soon. You're probably going to suffer till you're blah, blah, blah. Like all my fears and traumas, my deepest fears came back, right? It's like they came back from the dead, right? My world was shattered into a billion pieces. OCD will do that to you. And it'll also slap in the spiritual stuff. You start thinking you're seeing signs and voices from the other side. You have a dream and you wake up and you analyze the dream too much. Oh, it fucks with you on top of that. It's like, oh, we got him here. Okay, let's get him some spiritual stuff. Let's make him see some numerology, a bunch of 1111, and he'll Google it. Some 7371s, and maybe a dead rat over there and a dead bird that signifies something negative is going to come, some bad omen, right? And you're going to spin out of control, freaking out, right? I went down that path too. I went crazy for a little bit, where I avoided seeing numbers, seeing any sign. Oh, that means something. Oh, everything meant something, of some sort of sign that I was going to die, or you better buckle up within a couple of minutes or next week. You know what's even worse than not dying in the next couple of minutes? Oh, no, you're going to die in 2 years. No, not now. Oh, no, you're good now. No, you're good. It's going to be in 2 years you're going to be dead. That's even worse, because that takes the air out of the sails. It's like, well, what's the point? Well, why do I care about healing? For what if I'm going to die? Right? The medium says that there's a situation that I might unfold where I'm going to be hit by a transport truck, or I'm going to be, oh my God, they said I'm going to have this crazy disease, illness, and the signs have been all pointing to that. That's how crazy shit went. So when it says in 2 years you're going to die, it's like, oh man, I don't even have a chance. What's the point? It takes all the air out of the sails, and you go, what is the point? Why am I trying to heal? Right? And the smokes and mirrors are very, very potent. You really believe this? You really believe this? And it's haunting, right? Oh, it's so toxic. It's a dark, dark, dark world that you get sucked into. And your brain's doing this to you, right? And then eventually, you start doing the allow method. You start to get out of this hole, right? Slowly. You start seeing a little bit of light. And some of these old beliefs, these core beliefs, which I say core alarms, start to loosen up and they let go. Let's see. Am I still alive? Because this thing, right? They start to let go. And then the alarms start to turn off and the OCD starts to calm down. And then you have freedom, right? You're not held down by these belief chains, right? Like this cloud of everything anytime you have any hope, it goes, no, Oh, maybe I can do this in the future. No, you can't. You're gonna die in 2 years. Well, maybe no. You're gonna suffer. You're gonna be on disability, living with cats, single. Your wife's gonna leave you. Oh, right? Anytime you have a little window of hope, the doubt is 10 times stronger. Oh yeah, no. Let him have that for a second. Let him have that for a month, where he feels doubt. Having the doubt come right away, it's kind of like yeah, no. But eventually, what it fucks off a little bit. Let's 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 put him on a pedestal. Let's let him go. Oh my God, freedom! Oh my God, I feel so. Doubt comes in now, right? So the allow method, it takes care of all of that shit in time by having more doubt, allowing them to have more doubt, allowing the core beliefs to do what they want without trying to get rid of them. They will shift on their own, right? All these OCD looping thoughts, intrusive thoughts, all these fears, when you start to allow them, let the energy pass through, the survival state, the emergency state starts to calm down. The smokes and mirrors aren't as intense. The veil starts to drop. It does. Trust me, it does. I know it doesn't. You don't believe me, but it does. The veil starts to drop, but then it goes up again. Of course, it has to, right? It's to fuck with you. Keep going. Trust me, keep going. Eventually, you will get to the other side, and you will see clearly. Right? And I know it's hard to trust that because you're lost at sea, and it's like how do you trust? How do you cross that invisible bridge? You have to look within. You have to trust and keep going. And people like us and like this channel, right? We keep you going. Ask the questions, support each other, help each other, right? And know that what you're going through, right? Shit gets worse when you start doing the work. That's normal. You're going to make exorcisms jealous. That's normal. That's a normal journey. But it will eventually go away and you will have freedom. And your mind will be like this. All you'll hear is nothing. You won't even hear a heartbeat. Not even nothing. You'll just hear this. Watch. Beautiful. No thought hijacking you. You're in one in charge. You get to explore life. You get to eat the foods you want. What are we gonna do? That's the exciting part. What are we gonna do? I don't know. I'm excited. I don't care. You know what? Let's go to the grocery store and pick up some Doritos. I could go for some what do you call that? Freezies? No, not freezies. What do you call that? That ice stuff. I can't believe I can't. It's like blue and red. Anyway, right? Going to the grocery store, no, the corner store is just so beautiful because you know what? You have contrast. You don't take things for granted anymore. Any little thing that you do with the free mind that you have now and no more symptoms is the best thing in the world. You don't have to go to Costa Rica to be happy. No. You can go to the corner store, grab a bag of chips, maybe a liter of chocolate milk. You can sit in your car, right? You can look at the birds, and you're happy as shit. You're really in the juices of that present moment and enjoying it. We're not in the present moment to hide from our thoughts. Nope. That's resistance. Now we're in the present moment because we're savoring it, right? Everything's like eye candy, right? Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go inside and get a chocolate bar because I can with the nuts. Fuck it. Because I can. And every bite of that chocolate bar is like an explosion in my mouth of excitement. So I hope I could paint the picture of what it's like going down rabbit holes. And I know a lot of you guys understand that because you've done it in the past. And you might some of you might still be doing it, right? That's not the way. You're wasting your time, energy. You're bringing that survival state up. The more you're doing research, every time you research, you just let 10 tigers in the room, which puts the alarm system on. More alarms get turned on in the survival state. You stay in that state, and you get sick. Alarms are ringing. Doesn't that make sense? So, don't get sucked into the medical medium. It's bullshit. Right? And be careful who you follow, even in the mind body space. Have they been through it? Yes? Okay. That's good. Ask the questions. And it might be triggering sometimes to ask these questions and realize, maybe this isn't resonating anymore. I did that. It was triggering. But then guess what? You know what's the best? You become your own guide. This is the best. The best of the it doesn't happen right away. It happens like near after the halfway point, I would say. You start to become your own guide. You know the methods, you start to see, right? You're not out of it yet. You're not out of the woods yet. But you look within every time for answers. Right? You're starting to get the downloads. Right? You're starting to trust your intuition. In all your environment, nothing in your environment, nobody, no, not one person out there, not a medium, not a guru, not a Joe Dispenza, not a medical medium, not a mind body person, nobody can influence you or tell you nothing. It all comes from within and you're trusting it. And these are your answers, right? From here, the downloads. And you become your own guide. Right? You've been taught to fish so you can feed yourself for life. You're your own mindful gardener. You become a master at this. And then when you've fully recovered, you thrive. And then after that, you use it for business, relationships, situations that fall in your lap that you don't like. You literally have created the code, the cheat code to the matrix, right? You have this magic wand. You can manipulate energy and you can manifest without having the negative thoughts cock block you. You have freedom. You literally have the world in your hands. So don't fall for the bullshit. And I know some people won't like hearing that and might trigger them, but that's the reason why they're triggered. Right? The truth is the truth. And sometimes it's worth to be triggered if it's the truth. And if it doesn't resonate, scroll on. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to see some shout outs. Let's see who's all here. Megan, good to see you. Amy, thanks for joining. Please hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments, if you can, all the things that you did that were nonsense, all the fixing, biohacking that you did. And I like to say there are some biohackings that are good to have in the beginning just to support your work, right? To support the work, so that, because if you're dealing with crazy pain or a certain symptom and you're focused on that, you're not going to do the work, right? So do what you got to do in the beginning only, but it's temporary. I don't want people sticking to the biohacks and managing for the rest of their lives. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? Okay, Megan, I've been incorporating a lot of cueing around allowing sensations in my yoga classes. Oh, amazing. Since I've been watching you guys lately. I teach yin yoga. No way. My wife goes to yin. I used to go to yin too, right? They talk a lot about the fascia, right? And yeah, that's amazing. I got into teaching yoga to help people become more embodied. Our culture only teaches people how to numb out and disassociate and suppress. That's true. Bypass, right? Yes. All right. I'm going to wrap it up soon. Loving rock. At my wisest, I was suffering the most. That's so true. That is so true. When we suffer, you're forced to break down the barriers and the smokes and mirrors and look within. You know what it is? You're forced into an awakening. Right? You take the blinders off. And that's magic. And an awakening is never pleasant. But it pays off. Right? It does. Let me read that. Okay. At my wisest, I was suffering the most, and now that I don't care about knowing all the things I'm suffering the least, allowing life to unfold as it is and enjoying it. I love it. That should be a plaque or a t-shirt. Nancy, good to have you. You're helping so much. Thank you. Yeah, I got to do my voices more often. Sometimes I forget, right? Sometimes I take shit too serious. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, because I get so passionate, I can't help it. Right? I get all like, fuck. But yeah. Oh, it'll mimic this shit mimics Oh, I thought I went and did all the tests for MS. I did. You know what sucks? Waiting for the results for 3 months. No answers. Before I went to check out my results, I knew exactly what medications. I already had my wheelchair set out, ready to go. I knew I was going to take a Tysabri or a Copax 1. I'm probably mispronouncing them. I already knew everything I was going to do. I started looking to Terry Warhol or something like. She recovered from MS. Like some of these people, right? I was holding on to them like this, right? Most of these people are nonsense. Now I know, and I can release it without being triggered. I love it. Yeah. It mimics shit. It tries shit on it because the symptoms, right? They're like that, right? So it scares the crap out of you, and then you bring more of what you don't want. Law of attraction. Yeah, it's one of those things that happens as a consequence. And I'm going to do my own. I did a video about it, but it's something I want to talk about more often, right? The spiritual side of this shit, because when you're going through this shit, you're forced to go within, and you will get spiritual. And the law of attraction, you're going to start to learn how to use it with the allowing. It's like a hidden universal law. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Oh, you took the banana stuff, Tess. That shit was amazing. It's like, fuck, I hope I'm sick so we can get some of the banana stuff. I want some antibiotic. I want some, was that penicillin? Banana. Do you want to have vanilla or banana? I think they had blueberry eventually. Yeah. Here we go. Delicious. Medical medium. My neighbor lent me a book. She wasn't well either. I just a few days. There was a couple of people that messaged me because I made a couple of comments. They're like, "Yeah, dude, I was following them for 4 years. Nothing. I actually got worse. Tell me about it." You know how many people, right? But the thing is, sometimes when you can convince yourself, right, and you can manage because, oh, thanks, CT, because it gives you hope. You latch onto things, but you'll never get past that. You'll always be stuck. So you got to start facing your demons. You got to start emptying your allostatic loads. That's the only way. That's it. There's nothing else on this planet. Unless you meet with, God and he uses frequencies on you. He'll probably be using allowing too. Oh, yeah. I'm going to start to allow. Dude, I've been doing that. What the fuck? I thought you were going to do something special. No, I'm doing it. Why do you think you're doing it, you idiot? Because I've been showing it. I started that shit. I created it, you fuck. Hello, Blake. Hello from Pennsylvania, my friends. Pennsylvania. Nice. Motherfucker Gene, yes. Yes, I said that. Threw thousands of dollars of stuff away cleaning out the mold, and it wasn't the mold. I did the same shit. I was obsessed. Right? And you know what? My brain convinced me it smelled mold. I would get phantom smells. I would see shit that wasn't there. I would hear shit, right? I'd have sensations that weren't there. Not because of the mold, but just in general. This was some of the symptoms that I had. Fucked up shit. It just made up shit. So, don't worry. If you think you're going crazy because you heard your name being called or you smelled a smell that wasn't there, or a sensation on your hand like somebody was, or a drop of water on your neck, I had that. Or you look at your mom's face and go, Helmut, it's anxiety, Helmut. Right? And when she's talking to you, right, she looks like a demon. Right? And her face starts changing. Helmut, I told you, it is anxiety. Right? Yeah, I had that. If you're having that, fuck. Fuck, is that all? Is that all you got? Shit, you'll be fine. That's gonna go away. Right? There's nothing wrong with you. Trust me, I know it feels like it. But there's nothing wrong with you. You see 1111, I hear you. I see you. Right? And watch, now you're going to see more 1111. right? Yes, you're still alive. It's hard to be pissed off at the brain. I know. Slurpee. Oh, yes, Slurpee. Thank you. Slurp. Everybody say Slurpee. Everybody say Slurpee. Everybody. My whole life's been a rabbit. I'm going to try to, you know what? I'm going to start to sing a song with all these comments. You're giving me hope. You're giving me hope. It's hard for me to stick to the visualizations every day. Well, it's hard. Do it anyway. In the beginning, you're dealing with resistance. You're going up a mountain in flip-flops. Eventually, you will like them and you will have a nice flow. So, you're not going to like them, just like doing any sort of elevating. It's going to suck. Do it anyway. So, what should I call this video? What do you guys think? Should I say, because it'll get a lot of clicks if I say the medical medium nonsense. We're going to have a lot of comments. So, just so you guys know, so get your popcorn afterwards and be in tune for the comments. Why don't we do it? Why don't we have some fun with it? Yay! Yay! Hey, imagine being diagnosed with MS and then undiagnosed. That was no way. I've heard some people had that. And you know what? This is just my opinion. I could be right. But and things I don't talk about this often because I don't want people to totally dismiss me and go, "Oh yeah, he's a whack job." Yeah, I was listening. It made sense until he said that you think he can totally recover from MS doing the mind body work. Okay, yeah, okay. And some of these other things that I'm not going to bring up, you can guess, make a list, say it in the comments. I'm not going to say anything, right? The mold illness, BS, right? Candida, nothing to worry about, right? Right? So leaky gut doesn't exist. SIBO, you know what it is? When you have a storm up here, it travels down here. Nothing's going to work properly. So people find things. They go, "Oh, look at that. That looks off." SIBO. Oh, look at that. We got to make up a name. Leaky gut. Oh, look at that. We don't know what it is. Let's call it IBS, right? IBS is real, but it's just a name for, they don't know what it is. Let's just call it that because it's chaos down there. Well, there's a reason why there's chaos down there, because you're in chaos. You're in disease. You're in a survival state. Makes sense, right? It isn't a mystery, but in the medical field, it's treated like one. Don't question it. We don't know where it came from. Take the meds, right? And then the medical medium makes it into a thing, right? Where it's biohacks. I'm kind of excited to see what the comments were going to be like about him. I had fucking cold water feeling on my leg. Yes. Yeah, I had that too, man. I also had it where it felt like, the curling irons. It felt like somebody had that on my leg, on my calf, right? Like I was like, what the fuck is down there? Something burning? There's no fire. I'm like, is somebody burning something? Are you doing something funny? Right? No. It's just a sensation. The brain sends it. Water droplets here. Sometimes the top of your hand, all of a sudden it goes numb. Or it goes cold. All of a sudden your knee goes cold. Or your left foot goes cold. Like while you're driving, like, I got the fucking heat cranked. Why is it cold? Why do I have a cold sensation here? Why is it numb here? I can't feel anything. I gotta pinch it. Can I smell? Did I lose my sense of smell? I don't smell anything. What the fuck? So you're going in the fridge, grabbing the peanut butter. Okay, I can smell. Right? The garlic. Oh, fuck yeah. And then your mom goes, "Elmo, what are you doing? Why are you by the fridge for a half an hour smelling? Why? Elmo, you have anxiety. Please, you can smell. Come on." Yes. Maybe I'll name it that. Give me some ideas. What should I call it? Medical media. Maybe it should be medical medium is full of crap. I love it. Okay, Eric, what respectfully is your motivation and strategy? So much social media presence. What's the live stream's focus? My purpose is to motivate people and to bring awareness to the mind-body space with the right information to get people to recovery so they can become their own guides, right? I show you how to fish. You fish for yourself. You become your own mindful gardener, right? And the word spreads. You teach it to somebody else, and it keeps spreading. That's my goal. That's it. That is my goal, Eric. You missed mine, bud. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Oh, we got a. Here we go. I have over 500 videos. Do I have 500 videos? Yeah, free videos. You can watch them all, and you can tell me after. Okay, call the episode "The M&M Made Me Shit Green." Oh man, I can't say shit though. Well, I think Eric isn't too happy, right? Eric, tell me what's your anger about? You got to release some of that rage. Release some of that rage. Feel it to heal it. Yes, Vincent. It's yes. He had such an impact. Did you hear? Celery was flying off the shelves, right? Celery was flying off the shelves, and it's like if it was probably worth more than gold for a while, and everybody I couldn't do it because I had food sensitivities, right? And I looked and it said, yeah, take some celery juice and blah, 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 right? No, it made things worse. It doesn't. It's bullshit. Bullshit. There's a bowl, right, and there's shit in it. So feel it. Good. Keep watching the videos. Keep watching the videos. Right. I'm in the mind body space. Right. You'll see some things that are pretty. Okay, yeah, I've heard that before. Okay, yeah, yeah. But there's a difference, right? I tell you what I went through with detail. You know what I dealt with second by second of the hell, right? And I tell you how it is, and I tell you how it's very hard to recover, and what to expect, right? Not too many people go with it. They don't share their details. I don't know why. They should, because then people can identify with it. And I'll tell you how and why, and then I'll motivate you to stay on the path. So I'm like one of those motivators to keep people on the path, right? Right? I'm rooting for you. I'm sitting with you in the trenches. And then we got Sam. She's a scientist, right? She shows you why it's happening, and she shows you how the deeper dig into the emotional processing. So, all right, guys. I love to love you, but I gotta go. Get out there and get uncomfortable. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it. I'm not sure. I do a little bit of coaching. Yep, I do. Um, my goal is not to be a coach in the future, just to do content. That's my goal. And also, here you go, Eric. Listen, if you want, and this is for Eric especially, if you want any support, you can join the membership. There you go. You can join the membership. You can have me and Sam in Zoom classes. You can learn the program, the work, right? It's a monthly thing. You don't need it though. You can just watch all the video footage for free, right? But it's there. So take it or leave it. You don't have to work with us. All right, guys. Have a good night. Love you guys.